DreAllDay.com.
You're now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, especially yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And what we do then, we put all this together in one bundle, one package, one mindset, one method, one philosophy, one book, one university, one daily masterclass. As you heard me correctly, daily masterclass. This is not a podcast. That is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. Today's topic is how to empower others. I told you I had a masterclass coming on this topic. I just told you that yesterday. Here it is. Definition of empowering. Again, the topic, how to empower others. Definition of empowering is to give someone the authority or power to do something. That's what it means to empower, to give power to another person. How can you give somebody else power? It doesn't mean you give away yours, but how can you give another person power? It's kind of like having a flame on a candle. You can light others' flames without putting out yours at all. It doesn't take anything away from yours. This topic today is about putting other people in a position to feel better about themselves. It has nothing to do with, it doesn't mean a job title. It doesn't mean you have to own a company or be a boss at an organization or anything like that. This is about putting other people, again, in a position to feel better about themselves through their interaction with you, which will also, believe it or not, doing this for others also empowers you because you're the one who positioned them to do it, to make other people feel better about themselves. If you have the power to do that and you do it, understand, people forget a lot of things in life. All of us have poor long-term memories for certain topics, and some of us better than others. But very rarely does somebody forget how another person made them feel. Now, we might forget what somebody said, might forget what somebody wrote, or we may think we remember, but we actually got it wrong. We might misinterpret or misremember certain facts and information and data. But we don't misremember feelings. We don't misremember energies. So when you put yourself, when you are in a position to empower others, and everybody who's listening to me, you are in this position because when I explain these points, you'll understand that you have the power to do this no matter how insignificant or unimportant you may feel you are in your current state or your current station and wherever you happen to be in life in different areas. Understand you do have the power to do everything I'm going to be sharing here today from wherever you are. When you do this, those people aren't going to forget the fact that you empowered them. They're not going to forget that you gave them something, you provided them something, you showed them something that allowed them to feel power. Now again, people forget facts. We don't forget feelings. Point number one, the topic once again is how to empower others. Again, that definition of empower is to give the authority or power to do something. Number one thing you can do to empower another person is to offer a compelling future. You want someone else to feel power, offer them a future that is maybe more compelling than their current present. And compelling means something that will move them forward, something that entices them to go towards it. Offer them something that they're excited to go towards. They're excited to live for. They're excited to take action to get to. When people are excited about where they're going, ladies and gentlemen, they have a completely different energy than when they're unsure or unexcited about their future. Let me say that one more time. Simple but true. When people are excited about where they're going, they have a completely different energy than when they are unsure or unexcited about their future. Even though they're getting to the future either way, when they're excited about it, it changes everything. And this goes hand in hand with what we talked about yesterday, how to start a fire where there is no fire. When you're part of an organization, when you're part of a group and you want to start a fire within the group, of course you need to do the things that you need to do personally, what we talked about yesterday. Today, what we're talking about is really what you can help other people do. Give them a picture of a compelling future and people will move mountains for you. People will do whatever they had to do for you when you have given them a compelling future to get to. All right, if you want to see how this works, you want to see how this works in action, pay attention to any political campaign, especially the presidential campaigns in any country, I would assume. Now, I only know America's, but look at America's presidential campaigns. Every election, whatever candidate you like, or even a candidate that you don't like, look at what they're doing. Listen to what they're saying in their speeches. Look at their advertisements. Look at the things that they post on social media. What are they doing? They're offering you a compelling future. They're telling you something about the future that is going to compel you to take the action that they want you to take. Sometimes it could be fear-based. Say, if you don't take this action, here's a bad thing that's going to happen. If you do take this action, here's a good thing that's going to happen. They're compelling you one way or another by painting the picture of what the future is going to look like. When you get people excited, and understand excitement can be negative, excitement can be positive. When people are excited about where they're going, they will take action to get there. And when you are the source of that compelling future, whatever it happens to be, those people will come back to you for more of it and more of it and more of it just to keep their flame lit. Again, going hand in hand with yesterday's episode about how to start a fire. They will keep coming back to you to get more of that energy because you're the one who initially provided it. I talked about in episode number 1503, I talked about the personal growth and business benefits of my network marketing experience that I got back in college when I just saw a job board posting, not a job board, but a bulletin board posting for making unlimited extra income. Now, I didn't stay in network marketing as I talked about in that episode. Again, it's 1503. But there were some things that I learned through my experience in network marketing that played a huge role in what I do to this very day. Specifically, they introduced me to the concept of personal development. And I also learned a lot of basic business principles that had never been taught to me, not even in college or by anybody around me up to that point. And in that episode, one of the things that I talked about, actually I might not talk about it that much, but one thing that I'll tell you here relating to that episode is one thing that all network marketing companies / opportunities, whatever you want to call them, one thing they all do great is they paint a very compelling vision of the future, and that's why they get people to sign up. Anybody listening to this ever been enticed to sign up for a network marketing opportunity? Maybe you've been enticed to sign up more than once. Maybe you had other people trying to get you to sign up. You resisted, but you thought about it a little bit. Why is that? The reason why is not because all the opportunities are so great, but because the way that they structure their opportunities and the way that they paint a picture of the future, it is very compelling and it entices people to join. It entices people to get started. It entices people to bring their energy, to bring their money, to bring their friends, to bring their time. It works. And again, I'm not making an argument whether it is good or bad. I'm just saying that it works. Okay, now you may say, well, that doesn't mean it's good. Or that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it works. It is a compelling vision of the future. And the topic here today, once again, is empowering others. When people have a vision of a compelling future, all of a sudden their energy goes up. All of a sudden they are more willing to compel others to do things because they have been compelled to do things. If you want the energy of your group, any group that you're a part of, to go up, you don't even have to be the leader of the group. All you need to do is figure out a way for everyone in that group to have a compelling vision of what the future is going to be. And the energy of the entire group will go up. Steve Jobs is the person who was really good at this. He painted a compelling vision of the future, not only for his employees, the people who worked at his company, but he also did it for his disciples, the people who loved Apple products back before Apple became so ubiquitous that everybody was buying into it. That was around the time that the iPhone came out, not even 15 years ago. But even before that, there were Apple fanatics. People were just fanatics of Apple. They were Apple zealots, because he painted a compelling vision of the future of what that company was going to do. That applied to the people who worked there, and it applied to the customers, the people who are buying from it. Adolf Hitler painted a compelling vision of the future. Again, I'm not saying that made him good. I'm saying he painted a compelling vision, and he was able to compel a whole lot of people to do things that maybe they shouldn't have done simply because he painted a vision of the future that excited those people. Barack Obama, Donald Trump, these people painted pictures of the future that compelled a whole lot of people to do what they wanted those people to do. Every political candidate who wins an election, they must paint a compelling vision of the future. This is the only way you can get people excited. If people are not excited about you, you can have all the right information. You can be the complete right person. You can have all of the answers, all the information. You could have done everything right up to that point. But if you cannot get people excited about you, then they're not going to do anything for you. And the easiest way to get people excited about you has nothing to do with your facts or figures or data or information or even what you actually do. All it has to do with is painting a compelling vision of the future. Now understand this word compelling is an operative word, is a very subjective word. What is compelling to one person is not compelling to others. All right, you might say something to two people, you might have an audience of two people and say something. One person is excited and compelled to take action and the other person is repulsed and they're like, I would never do that. I don't want that future. And another person's like, that's the exact future that I want. And they're going to go right along with it. So whether it actually happens or not, the future that you paint a picture of, that's a problem for later. All right, you can figure that one out later. But if you're just trying to make the sale, all you have to do is get people excited about the vision that you painted, and then whether or not you follow through, that's a whole different thing. Now, if you don't follow through, those people might hate you, and they'll hold it against you forever. And if you do follow through, then hopefully whatever that vision was that you painted a picture of is actually what people want. All right, make sure that you told them all the details. Don't leave out the fine print. Or again, if somebody finds out, they might use it against you. But if they don't, then hey, I guess nobody's the worse for it. All that being said, let's move on to point number 2. The topic, once again, is how to empower others. So now that you've painted that compelling future, here's the second thing that you have to do, because now you got people paying attention to you, right? So you painted this vision, and now people are like, all right, I'm in on that. I'm interested. I want to get involved in what this person is doing. Now they're following you. Now they're paying attention to you. Now they're listening to everything that you say. Now they're waiting for you to tell them what to do next. Now here's what you have to do. Point number 2, represent the energy that you wish to give. And the energy that you want everybody else to have. You must represent it. You must be the example. When you're in a position of leadership, your energy infects everyone who follows you. And you have to both be present and represent what you want to see. Once you become a leader in any group, and a leader doesn't have to be the boss, you don't have to be the owner, you don't have to be the one cutting the checks, you don't even have to have the job title. The leader is just the person that everybody else is following. And that following you is a choice. Now, somebody listening to you because you're the boss or the manager, they have to. But being a leader is something that people follow you voluntarily. When you get into that position, your energy is infecting everybody who's paying attention to you. So you have to be there, first of all, because if you're not around, then they're going to find somebody else to be led by. So you got to show up. And then you have to represent the same energy that you want everybody else to have. If any of you saw, or at least you heard about, maybe you saw clips from, in the spring of 2020, the Michael Jordan documentary. It was really about the Chicago Bulls, but it was ostensibly about Michael Jordan. It was called The Last Dance, a 10-part documentary. ESPN aired it. It's on Netflix these days. And it was all about that last season, Michael Jordan with the Chicago Bulls, the last season that they won the championship before Jordan retired a second time. And in that documentary, all Michael Jordan's teammates would say this, and I've read every Michael Jordan book. In Masterclass number 1217 is where I talked about Michael Jordan as a, let me see, make sure it was 1217, that's correct. Michael Jordan 1217 is Virtual Mentors episode number 5. So if you haven't heard that, one of my favorite episodes actually of my own show, episode 1217, Virtual Mentors Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan, according to his teammates, he always wanted to be in practice every day. And in professional sports, I've told you all before, those of you who have not played professional sports, the hardest part of professional sports is not the games. The games are the easiest part of professional sports. I guess the games, and I guess now getting on social media and hearing from your admirers. But other than that, the hardest part is practicing every day. Is the training in the off season, is the preseason training, is the recovery after the games and after the practice. Those are the reasons that players stop playing, is because of the training. Michael Jordan always wanted to be in training. He always wanted to be in practice. And according to his teammates, he would practice as if the Bulls were playing in Game 7 of the championship. He would just play that hard, and he would be that focused and that locked in every single day. And because Michael was also the best player on the team and the highest paid player and widely recognized as the best player in the whole world and maybe the best athlete in the whole world, everybody else in that Chicago Bulls team, guess what? Their energy was infected by Michael Jordan's energy because he was the leader. So everyone else on that team had no choice but to step up their own energy and step up their own game. They all had to show up to practice, be ready to practice hard and be locked in and focused and not go through practices and be that serious about training every day too. Because listen, if the best player on the team is doing it and the leader is doing it and the guy who's making the most money is doing it and the guy with the most accolades and the most excuses to not show up is still showing up and bringing all that energy, what's everybody else in the group have to do? They got to do it as well. So everybody else on the team had no choice but to step up their own game and their own energy. And then after all the success that team created, because of the influence of the guy on top, it wasn't just because of him, period, but because of his influence, he raised everybody's game at the same time. Everybody got paid after that. After that team broke up, every player on that team who moved on to somewhere else, they all got paid probably more than they would have gotten paid had they not had the influence of Michael Jordan around them and the aura of winning those championships next to their name. So everybody benefited from the influence of the guy on top, because Michael Jordan represented the energy he wanted everybody else to have. And he did it consistently, and that's why everybody else had to do it as well. Again, episode 1217, I suggest you listen to that. Virtual Mentors number 5, Michael Jordan. Point number 3, topic here today is how to empower other people. Third thing you had to do is acknowledge the clouds, but focus on the sun. In other words, there are times in life when things are not going to be going right. All right, there are no perfect people, there are no perfect teams, no perfect situations. Things are not always going to be working out the way that you want them to work out in your life, in your business, in your whatever. There'll always be some clouds going on at some point. Maybe there'll be some times where there's no clouds, maybe no clouds in the sky. Right now, as I'm recording this, I'm looking out the window at Miami. It's an overcast day there. You can't even see the sun. The sun is out somewhere because it's light outside, but you can't see the sun. It's a lot of rain. I think we're getting like remnants or the outside rings of a tropical storm passing through here. So this is not a day you have a picnic outside. So there are a lot of clouds here today. And there are some days where it's completely sunny, where you can't get shade. You got to go hide under a tree to stay away from the heat. You step outside, you just start sweating just from the temperature and the humidity. But understand, the people who empower other people, they don't focus on the clouds. They acknowledge that the clouds exist because you can do something about it, but they don't focus on it. They focus on the sun. They focus on the positive. They focus on that compelling future that they want to move and drive everybody towards. And this is one of the reasons why they're a leader. I remember years back, actually probably everybody remembers this, when Beyonce and Jay-Z and Beyonce's sister Solange and I guess all of their security guards, it was 4 people in an elevator. At least I remember it being 4 people in the elevator. And we all saw the video. You can look it up if you haven't. If you live under a rock, you didn't see it. And Beyonce's sister, Solange, you can't hear what's being said, but she's obviously very angry at Jay-Z. And she's like physically attacking Jay-Z. She's like trying to slap him. She's trying to punch him. The security guard holds her back. She's trying to kick Jay-Z. It was really funny just watching Jay-Z try to fend off his wife's sister, because he couldn't know how much can you react when your wife is standing there, but her sister is trying to beat you up. What do you do in that situation? So Jay-Z handled it, I guess, as best he could handle it. But then they got out of the elevator and they're walking out to their car from the building that they were in out to their car. And in this short, 50-foot walk, obviously there's all this paparazzi outside taking pictures. Now, mind you, none of the paparazzi taking the pictures at that moment knew what had happened in the elevator. We didn't find out about the elevator until days after it had actually happened. Somebody had took that elevator footage and it got out to, one of these gossip blogs or whatever, and then it got spread around on the internet. But at the moment that they walked out of the building, after what happened in the elevator, after what had happened in the elevator, they all had to show face to the world, but the world didn't know that it happened. So in this moment, in this little walk from the building to the car, you just saw Beyonce, who did nothing. The whole time that her sister is trying to beat up her husband and her security is holding back the sister, Beyonce's just standing there watching it. She's not saying anything. She's not getting in the middle of it. She's not getting involved at all. She's just standing there. And then they get off the elevator and walk to the car, and she just had she had her smile on. She had her press, her media, her public face smile on her face as if nothing had just happened. And I thought of that when I was thinking of this point. She was walking past and smiling for the cameras as if nothing had even happened. I never heard over the years, Beyonce's been out for 20 years, maybe actually longer than that if you count her time with her group Destiny's Child before that. I've never heard Beyonce complain in the media. I've never seen her go back and forth with anyone online or through the press or anything like that. Now, does this mean that her life has been perfect for the last 25 years? Absolutely not. I mean, she got an album where she kind of aired out her own husband, but she did it through her music. That focus on the positive, and this is not just necessarily for Beyonce, but anybody, that focus on the positive that she has, always showing the sun, but not in a trying too hard. She doesn't do it in a fake way. She doesn't seem like she's trying too hard to show the sun. It's just how her energy is. That gives her fans, they call themselves the Beehive, that gives her fans something positive to look forward to. I mean, I'm a fan too. I'm not a fanatic. The Beehive are the fanatics, but you know what I'm saying. The fanatics, that gives them something positive to look forward to. Even when she's quiet and she ain't been around for a while, they're still excited and defending her and arguing her case on the internet against random people simply because She paints a compelling future. She paints a compelling picture of herself and her energy, and the way that she presents herself is that she always gives people something positive. She always gives people something to look forward to, and that's part of why she's a star. I'm not saying that's the only reason she's a star, but I'm saying that's a big damn reason why she's a star. Now, again, that doesn't mean everybody needs to be like that. There are other stars who are maybe just as big of a name or close who do some things a little bit differently than how she does it, but each of us has to do what works with our personality. But I'm telling you here in point number 3 is that you do need to acknowledge that there are clouds, acknowledge when there are issues that need to be dealt with, but your focus needs to be on the sun, especially when you're the person in charge. As I told you yesterday when I read you that quote from the John David Mann and Bob Berg book, it's very important that, especially when things are not going well, that you keep your eye focused on the goal, focused on the outcome, focused on a compelling, positive future for the team, because everybody on the team, they know over their heads that anything can happen. They know that nothing is guaranteed. They know that one day this company can go out of business. They know one day they can get fired. They know one day something can happen to you. They know that in the back of their minds. They might not think about it every day, but they know it. They are aware of that consciously or unconsciously. Your job then, knowing that they know that, is to keep focused on the positive so that they can focus on the positive. Because if you can't focus on it, there's no way in hell that they can focus on it. Barack Obama, another example of this. This is a guy who always had every time I heard him speak, whether it was before he became president, while he was president, and even now after he's been president, he's always had a positive note to share, a positive note to end on, no matter what topic he was talking about. And as of when I'm recording this, Barack has a new book coming out. I haven't read it yet, but I think I was looking at the audio book. It was like 10 hours long. That's a very long book. It's a lot of recording. And this comes from a person who records a whole lot. That's a long ass audio book. But one thing about Barack is I was always interested when he went to give a speech. I was always interested when he was talking publicly, because I knew he was always going to have somehow, some way, he was going to find some positive in what he had to say. And again, whether you were a fan of Obama and or his politics or not, you had to agree with that point. He always found some type of positive on which to focus his speech on. Now, whether he was giving you some bullshit, gobbledygook, or he was, talking circles around you so you didn't quite understand the bullshit he was saying, if that's the way that you think about him, fine. But you have to agree that he found a way to make it positive. He found a way to make it sing, and it made it positive whether you agree with his politics or not. And that energy alone, this is my point, that energy alone made a whole lot of people see him favorably, even to this very day, even if, again, you disagree with his work and his positions and the things that he did or did not do. You do agree that everybody sees this, not everybody, but the majority of people see him in a favorable light simply because he had the energy of always acknowledging the sun, of always showing the sun rather, and focusing on the sun, even though he would make sure that he acknowledged the clouds. Because if someone who doesn't acknowledge the clouds, they only want to talk about the sun, they have no credibility, because people are like, okay, yeah, I hear you keep talking about the sun, but do you see these damn clouds over our heads right now? Don't act like you don't see them. All right, then we don't give credibility to that person. But the person who is able to acknowledge, but at the same time focus on the sun, those are the people that we like their energy. We like to be around them. We gravitate towards those people because we know they're going to give us something positive to feel about ourselves. And that positive energy, that matters. I think if you listen to this show enough, you absolutely know that matters. Point number 4. The topic here today is how to empower others. See people as better than they are. This is a really important one when you have people who are subordinate to you, people who are working, that you're training them, or you are mentoring them, or you are coaching them, or you are trying to raise their level. They want to raise their level, and they have entrusted you as being one of the people who's going to help them take them from where they are to where they want to be, or where they could be. Maybe they don't even know that they want to be there. You know that they could be there, but they don't even quite see it for themselves yet. You must see them as better than they are. And here's why. In the long run of life, I've talked about this many times here on this show, you get what you expect. All right, in episode number 1005, I talked about how to lean into expectations. Episode number 474, wants versus expectations and the life-altering power of initiative. Episode number 176, on great expectations. In life, the long run of life, not just today, from today to tomorrow, but the long run of life, you get what you expect. Not just from life, not just from yourself, but also from other people. If you want other people to be better, you must see them as better before they become better. I'll repeat that. If you want people to be better, see them as better before they have actually become better. Here's the truth about human beings. We all tend to live up to or down to the expectations placed upon us. If you tell a bunch of kids from the projects who grew up poor that you expect them to be failures and stay in and out of prison, that's exactly what they'll do. If you tell those same kids that you expect them to be just as successful as kids born into much more privilege than what they had, they'll do that. And again, if you're consistent in the message, if you're consistent, you expect people to fail, they'll fail. You're consistent in telling people you expect them to succeed, they'll succeed. Now, again, this is acknowledging that these same people aren't listening to you as an authority. They're actually listening to what you have to say and looking up to you as a person that they should be following and taking cues from. They will live up or down to the expectations you place on them. We are all, as human beings, susceptible to the environment that we are in. An environment doesn't just mean the neighborhood that you're born in. It means the people that you're around, the energies that you take in, the things that you read, the things that you watch, the things that you listen to, the people that you talk to, how people respond to the things that you do into your presence period. We are all susceptible to our environments. The expectations placed upon us, check this out, these are our mental environment. Your physical environment are the people, places, things, energies, neighborhood you're in, if it's cold outside, if it's hot outside, if it's raining. That's the physical environment. The mental environment is about the expectations placed upon you by the people who you look to as authorities. And when they expect positive from you, you do positive. When they expect negative, you will do negative. You will do exactly what's expected of you by the people that you trust and the people that you look up to. So if you want to empower other people, this is what you have to do here. I'm telling you in point number 4. See them as better than they are right now, and they will live up to what you expect of them. Let's recap today's class, which is how to empower others, defined as giving someone the authority or power to do something. This is about putting people in position to feel better about themselves, which will empower you because now you have people who feel better about themselves around you, which will raise the level of the entire group or of association. But at the same time, even outside of that, even if you never deal with this person again, people will always forget the data, stats, and facts of things that you did and said, but nobody forgets how you made them feel. Point number 1, offer a compelling future. When you're excited about where you're going, or anybody's excited about where they're going, they have a completely different energy than when they're unsure about the future or unexcited about the future. Steve Jobs did this. Obama did it. Donald Trump did it. Even Hitler did it. They got people compelled about the future. Again, whether in a positive way or a negative way, they did it, and that's how they got people to follow them. Point number 2, represent the energy you wish to give. When you're in a position of leadership, your energy affects everyone who follows you, and you have to be both present, you got to be around all the time, and you have to represent what you want others to see. Michael Jordan, he did it. He had all of his teammates who were not nearly as talented as he was, most of them. He got all of them to raise their levels, and they all benefited from it because of the energy of the guy on top. Number 3, acknowledge the clouds, but focus on the sun. Beyonce, after the elevator incident, you didn't know something that just happened in that elevator. She had a big smile on her face for the cameras, as she always did, as if nothing had even happened. You never heard her complain in the media. Never see her go back and forth with anybody, even though some people come at her. Does this mean her life is perfect? No. Does it mean she's perfect? No. But that focus on a positive, always showing the sun, but not in a trying too hard, trying to be fake type of way, it gives her audience something positive to look forward to and is part of her star appeal. Barack Obama, another example. He always has a positive note to share, a positive note to end on, no matter what he's talking about, whether you agree with him or not. Everybody has to agree with that. And that energy alone makes people to this day still see him in a favorable light. And number 4, see people as better than they are. In the long run of life, you get exactly what you expect. Not just from life, not just from yourself, but also from other people. If you want people to be better, see them as better before they actually become better. The truth about human beings, and this applies to all of us, we tend to live up or down to the expectations placed upon us. You tell a bunch of people who are looking up to you, you expect them to fail, they'll fail. You tell them consistently enough. You tell people consistently enough that you expect them to succeed, they will strive and do everything they need to do to live up to the expectation you have placed on them. And this is understanding we are all susceptible to our environments, our physical environments, and the expectations placed upon us are part of our mental environment. So if you want to empower other people, change their mental environment by letting them know what you expect of them and consistently telling them that, and make sure it is something positive. Work on your game. Dre all day.